Hey guys, welcome back. Today I just want to talk about how Balance My Hormones compares to other services in terms of costs. In other words, are they good value for money? How do they compare to other services offered? And based on this information, maybe that can give you a better idea of whether you should be using them or not. Now, initially this wasn't a video that I was planning to do, but then when I was going through the costs video, when I was doing the cost video earlier, I realized that maybe that's something that will appeal and be good information to you guys, because there are different types of services out there and ways that you can get TRT treatment. So I thought I'd just kind of put them all into perspective and compare them to help you decide whether you should make a use of a service like them or not. And also because when I was looking at the testosterone prices, right, and doing them in the previous video, I remembered seeing a comment on one of my earlier videos where, or a private message where some guy told me he got testosterone for X amount, and that amount was cheaper than what Balance My Hormones is offering, right? Now, I just don't want to be getting tons of comments, in the comment section where people go like, oh dude, Balance My Hormones is selling testosterone for 13 pounds, but I can get it for 9 pounds, right? Yes, of course you can. You're looking at things from a product to product basis, and Balance My Hormones is a complete package and a service, so you can't really compare, right? And a lot of the time these guys are getting their treatment through the NHS and that, so they're literally just paying for the testosterone they're getting. There's no additional service involved that they have to pay for in that. So I thought I'd just I knew I was going to expect those types of comments, and I really don't want to have like the whole comment thread turning into this big hate thing because of price discrepancy. So I thought I'd give you a objective view or subjective view of objective view of the costs involved with all the different ways that you can get treatment. So I'm going to start with the cheapest and probably the most common route that most people take, and that is getting your treatment for free on your national health service. So I know in the UK we have the NHS, which is like the government health service where everyone gets a treatment, and usually it's free, right? So you can go there for most of your general conditions, and in some ways it's nice because you never have to pay for your treatment, but in other ways it's terrible because the quality of service is really, really poor. Now, I'm pretty sure they have sort of similar things in other countries. I don't know how it works in Europe and in the States. I've really only worked with private treatment my whole life because I'm from South Africa, and in South Africa it's a death wish if you actually use the public health service in a way. So we don't even go that way, we just go private by default. So I don't know how it works in Europe and in America and in other countries. I think it works the same way. Most people kind of have like health insurance that they pay for, and then usually their treatment will be covered by that. So the first option is NHS, or your general free government healthcare, right? Now, if you're able to get treatment with them, fantastic, because as most of you on this channel know, it's a nightmare specifically for testosterone replacement therapy and also other hormonal replacement therapy treatments to get treatment from the government NHS service, right? Some guys have luck and they get it, but many don't, right? And they're very, very strict in the way that they prescribe. You literally have to be on death's doorstep in terms of your testosterone levels before they'll even consider you for a case. The rest of us that are in like the low area or the gray zone, they don't even consider you, right? And so then we're left out in the dark. We don't know what to do. We don't know how to get treatment. And so hence why, I've been doing all this investigation. So the free route is obviously best because you don't pay anything and you get your treatment for free. And if you're lucky to get that, fantastic. Congratulations. I wish I was in your shoes, but many of us aren't. All right. So the next step, right, or the next option available to you is private doctors, right? This is how I've been getting my treatment since I started back in South Africa. It's how I got my treatment when I was in the Netherlands, and I wasn't able to get it that way here in the UK. But anyway, so going the private doctor, basically you pay for all your own costs, right? You pay for a consultation, you pay for lab work if you need to get the lab work done, and then you pay for the testosterone prescription and the testosterone, and you pay for it when you go fetch it from the pharmacy, right? It worked like that in South Africa, it worked like that in the Netherlands, and I imagine it works like that in most other countries where you go on a private sort of basis, right? Now, sometimes maybe your health insurance is going to cover this. I suspect they may have sort of bureaucracy and red tape around that like the NHS does as well, because the less that the government or insurance companies have to pay out, the better for them. So they usually make these things kind of harder to get. But if you go private and you're paying cash, usually you have no hassle getting treatment, right? So that's in most countries. But then in the UK, like I've learned the hard way, is that it's even harder to find a private doctor here. Like I struggled to find a private doctor. And actually, before I learned of Balance My Hormones, I did get a connection for a private doctor, which was 3-4 hours right away. And that's actually where I was considering going to get the treatment, right? But then I heard of Balance My Hormones, so I thought, let me just hold on and test them out first to see how they work. And so they worked out well. Now, Balance My Hormones works kind of the same way that a private doctor does, right? But it's more of a business. So yes, their costs are slightly elevated in comparison to a private doctor that you would go through, but not by much, right? And it's worth it, at least in my point of view, because you're paying for convenience, right? You're paying for this service, you're paying for a whole package, you're paying for having everything dealt with from the comfort of your home. Everything is dealt with from your home. You deal with the doctors online, you can chat to them online, and obviously that keeps their costs down, which, then you you do the blood test from home, you get the kit delivered to you, you send it back, you get your testosterone delivered to you. It's really, really convenient, and that, in my opinion, is a service worth paying for. But maybe you have a different opinion, right? So naturally, they have slightly elevated costs compared to a private doctor. So if you find that you can get treatment from a private doctor, right, and you want to save on a bit of cash and the convenience isn't such a big deal for you, then maybe a private doctor is better. But then you've got Balance My Hormones, which is like a private service, slightly more expensive, but a hell of a lot more convenient, especially considering that you can have it shipped to you in whatever country you're in, provided you're in the EU for now. All right, so what's the option after that? Well, a lot of guys go to these sort of high street private sex clinics, what you call, where they treat like a lot of sexual conditions and like erectile dysfunction, impotence, low sex drive, that kind of stuff. And those usually are also kind of private based, but are fucking expensive, right? I've looked into the price of that, and sometimes they charge you like with up to like £400-500. Let's say that was just dollars for an initial consultation. That's not even guaranteeing treatment. I mean, already that's a lot, right? And that's meant for like these sort of more posh wank, elite, high rolling type guys that you have tons of cash to fork out. And for like the general guy like you and me on the street, that's just an average guy that just wants to get their levels balanced and doesn't have bankrolls and bankrolls of cash to just throw out the window of our Mercedes-Benz, it's not really a viable option. Now, if you are loaded, and you walk around with 10 Rolexes around your wrist and a wallet full of £1,000 notes, I don't think you get that. But anyway, you get the drift. Then maybe that's a convenient service for you. Maybe you've got a clinic down the road from you and you want some extra things like Viagra pills and some other things, to help you. Then maybe the sex clinics are an option. But Balance My Hormones in comparison to them is a hell of a lot cheaper. Like I said earlier, they're more on par in terms of pricing with a private doctor than they are with those sex clinics, right? And that is the goal of this service. I've been working with Mike, who is the main guy at Balance My Hormones, obviously because I'm getting treatment through them myself, and he's doing everything he can to make this affordable while still, being able to operate as a business without going bankrupt. So he's doing everything he can to streamline the process, to make the pricing affordable for you, right? He even, initially him and I discussed testosterone enanthate and sustanon. And for some reason with the bureaucracy in this country, the enanthate is a hell of a lot more expensive when you buy it the legal route, right? So sustanon was a lot cheaper. I had a look at the two quotes and I said, well, let's go with the sustanon then, even though I had enanthate before, let's do sustanon. And prices dropped a lot, and this is the types of service that he's offering, right? It's customizable. He's trying to get a option that's affordable for everyone, right? And the options that are available now, like I've detailed earlier, are in line with the private doctor pricing. So I don't think you can really complain. Now, that's all I really wanted to say. I wanted to try and give a bit of perspective on the different options available. TRT is obviously something that you're probably going to be paying for if you don't get it for free through your public medical service like the NHS, right? Something you're going to be paying for, so think about it carefully. In terms of quality of life, I don't think there's any comparison. I would have never looked back, and I would never hesitate to make the same decision I have in getting treatment again. But your situation is obviously different. If you're very low, maybe you have a strong case for it. If you're not low and you're just looking for optimization, maybe it's not such a big deal for you. But at least now you have an idea of the pricing, and that's really what I wanted to get out there. So thanks for watching, and if you like this video, please click the like button so it gets seen by more people, and click the subscribe button for more videos on TRT and services like this in future. So thanks for watching, and see you next time. Adios.